I've just bought a property to flip in Newark for £135,000. My aim is to renovate it and sell it again for at least £185,000, hopefully adding more than £50,000 worth of value to the property, £30,000 of which should be my profit. In this video, I'm going to show you how I found this property specifically and talk through my 4-step process that I use to find properties with potential. So let's jump in so you can see what I look for in properties, what I try and avoid, how I value them, and how I check there is enough potential profit to be made to make sure this investment is worth my while. Okay, so step 1 in my process is finance. Now when I was starting out in property, I would jump straight into Rightmove and try and look for a property that I was interested in. With the experience that I have now, I'm going to say that's not the best way to do things. And every time I'm looking for a new property to invest in, I start with my finances. What I'm trying to determine here is the budget which I have available to go out and purchase a property. And the reason why this is so important to me and so valuable overall is it reduces all of the noise that I would see when searching for a property. Anything larger than my budget, I will obviously exclude, and anything too low for my budget is not worth my time for the investment returns that I could potentially gain. So that then leads to the question, how do I know what my budget is? How do I know how much I can afford? And for property investors, there are 4 common ways of financing a property, which are cash, mortgages, unsecured loans and bridging loans. For the unsecured loans and bridging loans, they're a little bit more advanced in the property journey, so we'll talk about those in another video. We'll focus here on cash and mortgages, which are the easiest ways to get a property. So cash is quite obvious. You are purchasing a property outright with your cash, and although this is advantageous from a negotiation point of view, and you could possibly get a cheaper deal, you are locking up all of that cash, restricting you from other investment opportunities. And this tends to be why I purchase the majority of my properties through mortgages. And I try to use a 25% deposit because I find it the perfect balance of good rates and not tying up too much cash. However, for the property that I've just purchased in Newark, I did end up buying it in cash. And although I would have preferred to use a mortgage, the vendors were in a position where they needed a buyer to move fast, and I could provide this. This property was actually listed for £160,000. I managed to purchase it for £135,000, so £25,000 off the listing price. But as I say, I typically use mortgages and I would have preferred to use it in this instance. But that raises the question of how much mortgage can I afford? This hinges on 2 simple calculations. How much cash do I have available for a 25% deposit? And how much mortgage payment can I support with my income? I find the answer to that quite easily by using the Money Saving Expert mortgage calculator. And all you have to do here is type in your annual income. So for example, if you earn £60,000, you type that in, you click calculate. And this returns an upper mortgage range of £195,000 to £270,000. So if you had £50,000 of cash available to use as a 25% deposit, that would let you have a mortgage of £200,000. And if your income was £60,000, you now know that you can also support the mortgage payments. But what happens if you're a little bit further along in your property investment journey, like I am, and you have multiple properties with multiple streams of income? The answer to these 2 questions becomes a little more ambiguous, and you need a more complicated mortgage calculator to determine your budget. And the one I use is the L&C mortgage calculator. And the key advantage to this calculator is it allows you to add in your property details for the other properties you own. I've added in a couple of examples here that's reduced the amount I can borrow down to £189,000. So from that step 1, I now know the budget that I have available to purchase a property. And that brings me into my step 2, which is searching for a property. Now there are loads of ways to search for a property, and I'm not going to talk through them all. I'm just going to talk through the way that I do it, and I use the website Rightmove to search for properties. There's no real reason why I use Rightmove over other websites. I just like it because it's worked for me in the past and I'm used to the interface. And I want to begin with choosing an area that I'm looking to invest in. Now around the UK there are lots of hotspots of house price growth. And yes, this is an important statistic to track, but what I prefer to focus on is making sure that the area I'm looking to purchase in is close to me. Ideally within half an hour, 45 minutes. And I prefer this because I do a lot of the renovation work myself, so I'm back and forth to the property quite a lot. Plus it means I can stop by intraday around my full-time job. So if I need to go measure up a kitchen, for example, I can be there and back within an hour ideally, and work it around my office hours. So one area of good potential growth that's actually pretty close to me is Newark, which is where I bought my property. So at Rightmove, I will type that in, and I'm looking for sale. And this is the point where I want to start adding in all my filters. And filters are really important because, like for your budget, it reduces all of the noise that you see for any properties that are relevant to you and your intentions. For example, I like to only look at houses because they are predominantly on freehold. Now I've had flats in the past with leasehold, and that's something that I just don't like to deal with anymore because it adds extra headache like cladding and years left on the lease and annual building service charges. So I tend to stick to freehold now. It's just simpler. And I add in my budget Now for the calculation I did in step 1, the budget came out as £200,000. And the rule that I use for searching for a property on a site like Rightmove is to always go 20% above my budget and 10% below. I go 20% above because I'm expecting to negotiate the listing price down, so those properties become relevant to me. And I limit myself to 10% below because I don't want to look for a property that's too cheap. You got to remember, every pound that you have invested is worth more profit to you later. If I bought a property for 100 grand and made a 30% profit, that would be £30,000. If I spent all of my budget on a £200,000 property and made that 30% again, I'd make £60,000. So I've doubled the amount of profit purely by utilising the entirety of my budget. And I know I can comfortably afford that from the calculations I did in step 1. But for the property that I've just bought in Newark, my budget was £150,000. And so my lower limit will be £135,000, my upper limit will be £180,000. Now Rightmove doesn't let me do 135, so I do 130. But I put my max at 180. Now for the knowledge I have on the Newark area with this budget, I know that it's likely I'll be looking to purchase a 2 to 3 bedroom property. If there's anything in this price range above a 3-bed property, it's very likely in need of dire structural renovations, and this is something I try to steer clear from. The majority of the renovation work that I do is surface level, like fitting bathrooms, kitchens, new flooring, wall painting. And I keep myself strict on this because it is something I can do myself to make the most amount of profit, and I can do it quickly. If structural work needs doing, you need a structural engineer to plan it and specialist contractors to do it. And this costs both time and money. So 2 to 3 bedrooms is appropriate for what I'm looking for. So minimum 2, maximum 3. I'll start searching. And immediately the first thing I do is I filter out new homes, retirement homes and buying schemes. None of them are relevant to the property investment that I do. And then I sort by newest listed first and start scrolling. Now whilst I'm scrolling, I'm glancing at 2 things. The first are the photos of the property. I want to see a property that needs renovation work doing to it. I'm not looking for anything that has been renovated recently because there is not enough value for me to add there. So for example, this one, I can clearly see that the kitchen and bathroom have been done recently. So this is not something that's relevant to me. And then the second thing that I look for is provided by this box here, which is the PatMa Browser extension window for Firefox. And I'll link it down below, it's free. And this is a super powerful insight into a property because it tells you day on day what happened to that property on a site like Rightmove. So I can see here that it was first listed on the 12th of June for 140,000. It sold on the 3rd of August for 140,000. On the 17th of September, not too long ago, it was relisted, so that sale fell through. And why is this so important? It's because it tells me that the vendors are likely in a position where they do want to move fast because they've been messed around. And on the flip side, it tells me anything that's been listed recently and that I should probably avoid that. If it's only just gone on, it's very likely that the vendors still think it's worth what the estate agent has told them it's worth. And I totally understand this, but it needs to remain on the market for a little while longer for the vendors to realise it's not worth the price they've put it on for. But if I keep looking around, we come to this property here. And this is the property that I bought. And the reason that I bought it was because in the photos I could see that that kitchen needed replacing, the carpets needed doing, the walls needed painting, the bathroom needs replacing, and the garden needs a tidy up. And also for this PatMa Browser window, it's told me that it's been on since the 16th of May, sold pretty quickly, sale fell through, and it's been back on the market since the 26th of July. And so now that I know that I'm interested in it, I load it up and take a better look at the photos. So yeah, there's a lovely wisteria out front, just needs a bit of pruning. The kitchen definitely needs doing. And this is really interesting. This is a lift that the previous owner installed. And I don't fear things like this because after a quick Google of the product number, I managed to find sales on eBay for £1,000 plus, which included the uninstallation of the lift. And yet the living room definitely needs updating. I can see signs of a previous leak on the ceiling. And yeah, more clear in that photo. And if I flick through to the bathroom, yeah, I can see that the floor is moldy here. So there was definitely a leak in the bathroom. But again, this doesn't worry me because if I look at the leaks, they are very dried out, no longer damp. All that potentially needs to be done here is replace the ceiling, the floor, plaster and paint. And of course I'll have a structural engineer during the survey just check the joists and make sure they're not rotten. But yet in the upstairs I can see the top end of the lift with lovely carpeted walls. I might put them in my own house. And the garden is also interesting because the previous owner had himself installed an external toilet for easy accessibility. And it's pretty clear he wasn't a toilet fitter for his career. But what's more is that he put in a window into the neighbour's garden. So while he was sitting doing his business, he could be looking out and they could be looking in at him. And maybe they make eye contact or something, I don't know. But when the skip arrives, that is definitely the first thing that will be going in the skip. I'll be wearing my big gloves to make sure I don't touch anything manky. But yeah, I like the look of this property. I check the floor plan and make sure it makes sense, which it does. It's a very simple floor plan. And so this is one that I'd shortlist in my step 2, and I did. And once I've built up a short list of houses that I'm interested in, I then move into my step 3, which is analysis. And the aim of the analysis step is I want to take every property that's in my shortlist and look for similar properties that have sold recently nearby and in a renovated condition, and make sure that the sale price of the renovated one versus the listing price of the one I'm interested in has enough of a difference to justify a profit that I'm looking to make. And this is before you've negotiated anything off the listing price. But it's a lot easier than it sounds. Let me show you how I did it for the property that I bought. I take the road of the property and I search Google for it. And I want to find a website which shows me recent property sales in that area. Now I tend to use Zoopla because I find it has the most amount of previous listings with the photos. So I click on Zoopla, and when I scroll down, I'm looking for a similar amount of beds and baths. And from the previous research I've done, I know that this property here is actually the exact same floor plan, and funnily enough 2 doors down from the one that I've just bought. So if I look at the floor plan and compare it to the one that I bought, yes, the floor plan is the same except for the dodgy toilet out the back. And I start to look through the photos. You can see the property I bought in the background there, and the interior is in a really nice condition. They've put spotlights in, the walls have been painted a nice neutral colour, the doors are nice. This kitchen is brand new. Although this kitchen is a cheap kitchen, my choice of kitchen at the moment is actually an IKEA kitchen. From what I've found so far, the quality is really good and the instructions are amazing. And this is the one I designed for the property I've just bought. It costs about £4,000, obviously minus the furniture. I was just putting it in there to see what it looks like. And it includes really premium stuff like a dishwasher, basin sink, induction hob. Stuff that really does add interest to a kitchen on property sale. But continuing, yeah, the bathroom's quite nice, and the garden's very nice and tidy. So I would say for the property I've just purchased, I can definitely get it into at least this renovated condition. And we can see that this sold in December 2022 for $180,000. Now bear in mind that house prices do change in areas over time. And since December 2022, I know from a quick Google that house prices went up in Newark by about 1%. So this will be worth about $182,000 now. I think Zoopla estimates 183. And from this, I know that if I do a slightly better renovation, I should be able to get at least 185. But what the analysis step has told me for this property here is that if I renovated it to the standard that I usually do, I should be able to sell it for at least 185,000. And because it's listed for 160, there's a £25,000 difference between the listing price and the potential selling price, without any negotiation. So that does leave me enough room to make a profit. But overall, from the analysis step, you should come out with a list of properties that you know have enough potential within them to make your profit. And you can take that into the final step, step 4, which is viewing. Now this is the fun step, right? You actually get to go out and check an area, check out the houses, see what they're like, get a feel for them. But the thing I do struggle with when I view properties is remembering everything that I do need to check. And this is why I've written up a helpful PDF that I use on my viewings to remind me of everything that I should be looking at. And you can get this for free from my website, I'll link it down below. Okay, brilliant. So you've gone through the 4 steps, you know your budget, you searched for your properties, you've analysed them, and you've gone and viewed them. Hopefully you can go out and purchase a property with potential. Now if you found this video useful, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be releasing future videos on my journey with this property, including how I more accurately value the upcoming renovation costs, how I actually do the renovations, how I value the property at the end, and how I decide whether to sell it as a flip or let it out and keep it as part of my property portfolio. And if you subscribe, you won't miss out on those. See you in the next video.